Well, stocks dropped today after President Trump unveiled sweeping tariffs of at least 10%, even higher for some countries.
Dr. Paula Isley is the Associate Dean and Professor of Economics at GVSU, and you joined us. You were here with us yesterday, and
Yes.
Thank you for that. Today is just 24 hours later, already starting to see some impact.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about prices right away because a lot of people are concerned about rising prices. Want and when, how dramatic could these prices be?
Well, right now we're expecting the inflation rate this year to be about double what we were expecting before these tariffs. So we're expecting the prices to go up about twice as fast as we were expecting, which is a little slower than what happened right after COVID when it was really, really high.
So, just coming out of an election where inflation was such an important issue, and with that really being a pivotal deciding point for some folks, and now we're going to see an acceleration in all likelihood. I mean, how difficult is that going to be for the psyche of the American consumer?
Well, it's going to be quite difficult because people are struggling with the price increases that they've already had. And this will also slow the economy down, certainly in the near term. So you're going to start seeing increasing prices and stress in the labor market. And when both of those happen at the same time, it's not pretty.
I know people are also asking questions about this, but I guess it depends on the age. But how worried should a person be about their 401k?
Well, it's too soon to talk about that. I mean, there's lots of things that are going to happen over the next few months, and historically the markets are quite resilient. So we don't expect that it's going to be a big deal if you have several years to wait.
Yeah, but that is one of the questions too, is if you're someone who is already out of the workforce and you're using that 401k and you're not contributing to it anymore, then that's a little more dramatic than if you're 26 years old and just starting to build it.
Oh, most definitely. And so we're really going to be looking at over the course of the next week is, does these decreases stick or do we bounce back? So right now, as you listen to the traders, we expect that some of this is going to stick and it's going to stay lower. And we've eaten away almost a full year worth of gains. So that's a big deal.
Significant, yeah.
I know we talked about this yesterday, and President Trump had mentioned, 6 months to a year. If this pays off, how long until we could see the benefits?
Yeah, the types of things that he wants to do is bring back manufacturing. That's going to take several years to put in factories that will be able to produce these things, train workers to do it, find workers to do it, because we really don't have a lot of people who are trained for manufacturing work anymore. And that can, most people expect that will be 3 or 4 years before we start to see big effects there. There are a few places where we can pull stuff back right away because there's excess capacity in a few areas of our economy, but not places, we don't make a lot of TVs in the United States right now. So things like that are going to be much harder to bring back.
And one of the things, and I was at a presentation where you were talking about this, and it has been a continuing theme. It isn't just that we don't have workers trained for these kind of jobs. We don't have the workers, period.
That's right. We don't have enough workers. And think about this. Now, I'm a pretty good economist, so I do economics things, and I have other people do poetry. What we're saying now is that I'm going to have to be an economist and I'm going to have to do poetry, and that's not going to be nice.
Yeah, and then I guess the final thing I would ask, and I don't want to put you on the spot, but is this a kind of generalized price increase that you would expect to see that will put inflationary pressures across the board, or are we just going to see that automobile or this television or whatever it is? Is it going to be specific to particular items, or are we just going to see in general an extra cost out there?
Well, you're going to see some things go up more than others, but the types of countries that got larger increases here mean that we're going to see this pretty across the board in many of the things that we buy every day.
And the last question I'll ask is, we hope and expect some of this stabilizes, but are we talking months, years, or do we know?
Well, it's going to take several months for us to stabilize to how do we get the supply chain working the way we need it to. And companies have had a little while to try and get that ready. So that's going to help us. But it's going to take several years to readjust to this change.
Okay.
Dr. Isley, as always, we appreciate you coming in for your insight. I think I left you yesterday saying we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, I know. It was going to be this soon.
But we will talk to you again soon. Thanks again very much.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Right.